shot. The details coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition.
And 24 Progressive Liberal Party loyalists were installed in Harbor Island last night. The Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition, starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDon Davis. Several armed men opened fire at the police early this morning. In the end, 2 men are dead and a third is in hospital fighting for his life tonight. This following a police chase through the streets of the capital. Police suspect the men to be responsible for a number of armed robberies over the past few weeks. One of them was being electronically monitored and is on bail for a serious offense. This is the fourth police-involved shooting in 2 weeks. Oscar Adderley reports.
It was a crime scene similar to a movie, but it all unfolded in a quaint community a short distance away from a busy mall. The bodies sprawled in different directions as the suspects fell to the grassy sidewalk and cement pavement on Balfour Avenue and Claridge Road. What apparently started out as a spree of armed robberies was winding down as the driver of a white Honda Fit became the last target of the 3 suspects.
Shortly after 5 a.m. this morning, an armed robbery occurred on Robinson Road and East Street, where a vehicle was taken. Three men held up a man and robbed him of his vehicle.
By this time, an all-points bulletin was out on the suspects, and they were spotted by the police. A high-speed chase unfolded, ending as the vehicle crashed into a utility pole. Assistant Commissioner of Police Stephen Dean explains what followed.
The suspects alighted their vehicle and engaged with a gunfire with the police. Police returned fire, resulting in 2 of the suspects being fatally shot. Another one of the suspects was shot.
That suspect was rushed to hospital. The other 2 died on the scene, their bodies a short distance away from the stolen vehicle. Police later discovered that one of them was being electronically monitored on bail for a serious offense.
Police are actively investigating this matter. We're in the preliminary stages of this matter. We are asking anyone who might have even been in the area to come forward with any additional information. As the information unfolds, police will update the public much further.
Police also retrieved 2 handguns and a knife from the scene. Oscar Adderley, ZNS Network News.
An 11-year-old boy is recovering in hospital tonight following a near drowning on Harbor Island Saturday. Community concern was apparent as island residents gathered outside the Harbor Island Community Clinic for word on the child's fate. The boy has been identified as Neil Presenti. Officer in charge of Eleuthera Superintendent Christopher Wright says the incident occurred at the Runaway Hill Resort sometime after 5 p.m. The near tragedy unfolded as a result of a game that ended in Presenti losing consciousness and having to be pulled from the water.
Who were attending that party were playing a game to see who can hold their breath the longest to the bottom of the water. This individual unfortunately went down and didn't come up. They retrieved him from that area and took him immediately to the clinic, where he's presently being resuscitated at this time. I want to say thanks to the doctors and the nurses here at this clinic here in Harbor Island, who have done an exceptionally good job along with the volunteers here in Harbor Island. What I can say to you at this time is that individual has somewhat been revived, and he has been sedated, and he has since been airlifted to New Providence.
Meanwhile, the resort is closed for renovations, but permission was granted to use the pool. We understand the local doctor was extremely concerned for Presenti because he did not have a steady heartbeat, and according to residents, the child may have hit his head while in the pool. Presenti, who was underwater for a short period of time, was transported to New Providence via air ambulance around 8 p.m. on Saturday. There is no word on his condition at this time. However, with the seaside community narrowly avoiding tragedy, Wright issued a word of caution to adults.
I just want to send a caution out to persons who are having these pool parties to please supervise these kids. You know, this is the summer period when persons flock the beaches and all of that. So we need to be most vigilant when these kids are in the water to avoid these sort of incidents from happening.
The leadership of the Progressive Liberal Party also in Harbour Island Saturday night as a new slate of stalwart councillors were installed there. Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie informed residents the island will not be left out. While stalwart councillors were reminded of their duties, Cleopatra Murphy has the details.
Addressing patrons of the Progressive Liberal Party's installation banquet of 24 new stalwart councillors Saturday night, Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie highlighted local issues. He noted that for the second time, Harbour Island was voted the best island in the Caribbean by Travel and Leisure magazine. The Prime Minister says it contributes substantially to the economy and reputation of the Bahamas as a tourist destination. As such, he says government will not compromise on what should be provided for the island.
Harbour Island, therefore, as a principle of any government, ought to attract the continuous commitment to ensure that infrastructure continues to be improving on this island, meaning it must be work in progress.
Mr. Christie also addressed Harbour Island's continuing power outages, which negatively affects tourism. He says it cannot continue. Deputy Prime Minister Philip Davis told patrons that the island recently received a new generator. While that too has had problems, Davis says it is a matter government hopes to resolve as Power Secure takes over management of BEC.
They are being directed to pay special attention to Harbour Island because of the uniqueness of the island and because of its status in the world as the best little island in the world. And this government is committed to ensuring that.
The island's youth band performed during the ceremony, and there was also a fashion show. Amid the revelry, Party Chairman Bradley Roberts impressed upon the group that it's its duty to expand the party's voter base, but it had another important job.
They protect the party's legacy and keep the party on course, true to its core principles. When in high office, stalwart councillors hold the feet of its leaders to the fire, based on campaign promises and on matters of public policy as it relates to the policies' alignment with the core values of the party.
Prime Minister Christie urged councillors to hold him and the party accountable and ensure government follows through on its promises for the island. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
And still to come, Goombay Summer Festival getting some positive feedback. That story and more when the weekend edition continues.